You can see the Zepeto base that I use for this edit on the left part of the video. I always start my edits with adjusting the proportions of the avatar using the liquify tool on IbisPaint. And then after that, I just started sketching and planning the composition of the edit. Once I finish my sketch, I always start with the face shading. When face shading, I just erase the eyes, and then I use an airbrush to even out the base or the color of the face. And then I start with the nose shading, followed by the eye painting. Some people love nose shading, some people hate nose shading. I love nose shading. My tip is to always just find a reference that you can use to figure out which is the part where you should put the shadows or the highlights. After that, I started with the eye painting. A tip, don't ever use pure white for eyes. As you can see, I use like gray in there. After painting the pupil, I started with the eyelashes and just a little eyeshadow, pearls and glitters. And then I think that's the eye makeup that I proceeded with. After that, I just put in more highlights that I lost when evening out the base for the face. And then I edited the eyebrows, which is very easy. More blush, and then just lip shading, lip painting. I wanted a nude lip, so I just experimented with a few different blending modes until I got this lip color. Then I just proceeded with how I normally shade lips. After I'm satisfied with my face shading, I always just proceed to the neck shading, which is very easy. Just use an airbrush, put it in a very big size so it will create a gradient effect. After the neck, of course, we should not forget about that ear shadings. I just did that very quickly. After that, I started the sketch, a very rough sketch of the hair, and then I proceed with shading the chest. For chest shading, always keep in mind the arm, or always look into it, because chest and arm are always connected. So sometimes the chest shading may be affected by how the arm is positioned. After I finish the chest shading, I always proceed to the collarbones, which are very fun to do. I love doing collarbones. Just use a good reference and you'll be ready to shade them. And then I just did some more arm shading, a little highlights, and I'm done. I then did or sketch my hair, which is the final sketch, and just painted some base in there, so just I can see how it looks. After the base, I always start with the shadows first of the hair. So I just separate the hair first in big pieces and then proceed with the smaller shadows for the hair. After that, I just refined it a little more and started putting the highlights. In this part of the edit, you can see that it started to get darker and then lighter again and then darker again. It's because I can't decide if I want a dark shade of hair or a lighter shade of hair. So when editing, don't ever be insecure of using those adjustment tools that you can use in IbisPaint. So I just ended up liking the lighter shade of hair better, so I just changed it. For some reason, she started to look like Ariana Grande on this part of the edit. So after that, I just started with sketching the flowers. I was very lazy, so I did the painting and the sketching on one layer, and I just copy-paste the flowers. After that, I just inserted a bunch of transparent pages of falling petals and change its color so it matches with it, and it's done.